Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Otaku Tea. How is everyone today?
It's the weekend. Yay. No more work for a day or two.
Finally. Oh gosh, next week I only have a 4-day week
Wait, why?
because the Chinese Lunar New Year and midwinter recess.
What?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that being a thing.
So wait, what do you mean?
You guys get off you guys get off for Chinese holidays?
Yeah, now we get off for the Chinese New Year. I think it's
Since
happened for like 2 or 3 years now.
that's weird. I've never heard of that being a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing growing up, but now it is. So I'm actually very glad. So next Friday, I'm off. And the week right after that, I'm completely off. So I get some time to recover from the stupidity that everything is for at least a week.
Uh-huh. So I
So,
guess they utilize the Martin Luther King Day as part of the break.
oh my God, no, that Martin, wait, what break was it? Martin Luther King, the one that we just had, right? The snow.
Wait, what? No, that
Wait,
wasn't yet.
huh? Oh no,
That's
yeah, sorry, but
next Monday. No, when is it?
I
Wait, what?
don't know. Where we don't
Oh,
know what the calendar is anymore.
that was in January. What am I doing?
I don't know.
President's Day. President's Day. That's
Oh,
what I meant.
okay, yeah. Because on Monday, was it this Monday? Yes, it was.
Snow.
Literally had a snow day in here in New York, and we had like all of these like um alerts going around like don't travel, blah 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 blah. It is snowy and you're gonna get hurt. La 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 la. And I had a 5-hour PD that day, and it was the most boring 5-hour meeting I've ever seen in my life. And my administration tells us we have an hour break, but they don't know how to keep schedules on time. So they decided to go like about 15 minutes with it into our lunchtime, and she's still like, "We'll still see you back at 2." Don't you mean 2:15 because you took up 15 minutes of our time? She's like, nope, 2.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, yeah,
But wasn't Monday a remote learning day anyway, though, for students?
it was, but my school decided, nah.
Did they
Nah.
do they not follow the city requirements?
I mean, I think it was still Regents Week, basically, because that week was also Regents Week. And this Monday, was the last day of Regents Week. I think I don't know because the Regents were canceled, so I am completely confused with how anything is anymore.
For those of us who don't know what regions are,
Oh yeah,
could you explain that for them?
Regents are the statewide exams that you take at the end of the year. So it's basically just your gateway to graduating, and you only need a certain amount of regions, the ones that are actually important apparently, to graduate. If you do any more regions, which you still do every year, you take a certain amount of regions, but you mostly take the ones that is required for that year. If you take any more than the ones that are required and you pass them, you can possibly graduate with the regents diploma, which is a higher diploma than your standard high school diploma. Honestly, no one really does anything with them unless you're trying to go into a very prestigious university or college. So it doesn't really affect you that much.
So how does that relate to like AP courses
Oh,
and AP tests?
okay. So AP courses. Since last year I taught an AP class, AP Spanish. AP courses are rated from 1 through 5, and if you get a full credit score, then you can actually it replaces a full credit class in college or in the university. So but it only goes based on the same subject area you took that AP class in. It's like a more intensive um, class instead of like a regular high school class. It kind of is equivalent to a third year college course.
Third year?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think first year.
It depends on the course you also take. So the Spanish that I was teaching was second year.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, it just depends on the actual thing. I believe it is a first year, but some of the teachers in my school are teaching either second year or third year of college courses. So I mean, I don't know. My school is weird. I'm not even gonna get into what they're doing, but yeah, you if you get full credit, like if you pass with a 5 or at least a 4 or 5, that's considered full credit, and you can literally have that waived as a full credit class. So let's say you take this Spanish AP exam, you can basically replace that with a language class in college. Again, depending on the college or university that do accept AP courses. If you get like a 3, that's like half credit, so you still kind of have to take half of the class, I guess. Um, Again, depending on the class, I mean the college or university that does accept AP courses as a replacement, but those don't affect your graduating you graduating for the year. You can take an AP class and pass the AP class. That is going to affect your graduation. However, you do not have to take the AP exam. The AP exam is basically optional, but the teachers are going to tell you anyways, like you might as well take it since we already spent a whole year doing this. Why not, right? See what you get. It's not going to hurt you. But yeah, if you fail the AP class, then that is going to kind of affect how you graduate, right? You need to pass all your classes. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. So then there's also like the SATs. So like it just seems like it's test upon test upon test for high school students.
Oh
Do
my
they still do
gosh.
SATs?
Yeah, so
What
we
do the
will.
kids do these days?
The SATs have to be administered in person. The AP exams were given the option to do it remotely, but the SATs have to be in person. So they are going to still administrate them for the students who actually need to take them, like the juniors and some seniors. The PSAT, which is the practice SAT exam, will not be administrated this year. Just because well, it's not necessary. We're not going to bring a bunch of kids into the school just to take a practice exam. We're only going to
Uh-huh.
do it for those who actually need it, and it's mandatory to take them. And that's if you decide on taking the SAT. If you don't, then there's the ACT, which is the easier version. But again, it depends on which colleges and universities do accept the ACT scores. But yeah, the SATs are
I
the
thought that I thought the ACTs were like more specialized. Like you can have like physics and history and like stuff like that, like specific subjects.
see, that's the thing because I never took the ACTs and I never had we never really talk about the ACTs in my school. Back in high school, I knew that the ACTs I think were rated from 1 through 10, I think, while the SATs were rated from 0 to 2,400 as the highest score, which is like a big, huge difference of numbers, right?
I thought
Um,
ACT was like 1 through 36 or something.
I thought it was 1 through 10. I don't know. The ACTs are not really that talked about. Nobody really cares about them.
Hey, I
Um,
took one.
you took one? How was that?
It was good. It was actually challenging rather than just being generic questions where you can just guess most of the time. Like SATs were very easy.
Easy. So then I either was a really dumb child or the child who didn't study at all, which I actually didn't.
I mean,
But
for like the ACT, you had actually had to know how to
do
read
certain
graphs
things.
and stuff, like and do
Um,
math. I think for SAT, they don't let you use a calculator, so they don't have any challenging math.
no, the SAT, you do need a calculator.
They never let us use a calculator.
Oh, we were told that you have to bring the graphic calculator.
What?
Yeah, you had to. That's the reason why I didn't do so well because I didn't bring one. Okay, this is the thing. For the SATs, you can take 3 tries free. And then after that, you have to pay out of pocket again, public schools. But I took the SATs twice. The first time I brought a generic 0 through 9 calculator because I didn't have a graphic calculator, and I was just like, well, that kind of sucks for me. I'm gonna have to do all this sine and cosine and tangent stuff in my head. And then the second time I took the SAT, I completely forgot to bring any calculator. So then I was even more screwed. But it was only like 100-point difference between my first score and my second score. So I don't know.
I thought we weren't allowed to use calculators.
No, you were allowed. They actually encouraged you, but you can't. They won't give you them. You have to bring your own. That was the difference.
No, they had okay. So what they only let you use specific calculators, and that you don't actually need to use it to complete anything. So I never brought one. Okay, that's what it was.
Okay, yeah, but you were allowed to bring one.
I mean,
I
you don't need to use it though.
I mean, you know when you're in the middle of, like, I don't know if it's just me or me being just dumb or slow, right? You know when you're doing a problem in your head, and then you're like, that sounds about right, but let me use the calculator, and you put 1 + 1 = 2, and then you're like, okay, it is 2, right? Just to kind of double check that you're not being a little slow right now.
Uh huh.
I used to do that all the time. I have no shame in it. I will completely admit that I used to do that. So, don't blame me. I just want to be 110% sure that that's the answer I got.
Right.
But yeah, and now I know that the SATs, the scores have now changed. The highest you can go, I think it's 1,500.
Why do they keep changing it?
I
Because
don't
people
know.
keep getting perfect scores.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know because in my high school, the highest I've heard anyone get was 1,500, which is the average because it was out of 2,400 points. That was the highest I've ever heard someone get. I've got
That's
a
weird.
1,200, which was very sad. But yeah. So and then you have to do the writing section, but then the writing section, like, those points don't even matter because at the end of the day it's the English and math part that actually count. So what's the point of the writing section?
So the writing section doesn't always get counted in the scores, right? That's how it is.
Yeah, like, it was mandatory, I believe. Then when I took it, it was in only some colleges accept the writing section score.
Right.
And now I don't even know. I think it's now a complete optional section.
When my brother took it, I don't think the writing section was even scored or something, but they
Oh
still
my
made you
god.
do it.
That's the thing I don't understand. This whole, like, these exams make absolutely no sense to me. But the thing is, when I became a teacher, I never thought myself having to proctor one of these exams. I thought they will look at the language teacher, right? And last year I had to actually administer the January Regents exams, and I hated it.
You had to like read the questions and the instructions and all that, or
See,
what'd you have to do?
it depends. So, like, the classes are separated from those who have accommodations, which, like, if they need extra time, if they need the
Right.
exam to be read to them, if they have to have the questions read over and over them again, like, give them bathroom breaks, give them time to walk around, things like that. All of these accommodation that students might need because they might just get distracted. They don't like being under pressure, things like that. And then you have the other classes where they are taken completely, like, they can only get up maybe like once to go use the bathroom or get water. And they just take it on their own. They can read and solve the problem by themselves. I got stuck with the accommodations class, which I hated because the one thing I used to avoid growing up in school was read alouds. So I guess I never got those skills to actually read aloud. So when I was put into the accommodation room, they said you have to read the whole exam to the students because this particular class needed that one accommodation. And I was like, oh, fudge you. And I had a whole panic attack the whole time. It was anxiety. I felt like I didn't know how to read. I felt like the students were just staring at me and like, is she really a teacher? Like, that's literally me. Like, I never got the skills to actually read out loud because I've always been avoiding it my whole entire life. So that was the worst day.
Uh huh. Me too. But like, Whenever teachers read instructions or whatever, like for the exam thing, I just zone out because I can't concentrate because they're talking. I can't concentrate when people are talking.
I mean, yeah, that's why they decided to separate um the classes. So like the students who actually need it will listen. But like even my class, the class that I was in, they weren't even listening to me. Like just was like they're like just staring. You can tell when a kid is actually following along and when a kid is just like, why are you even talking? Basically.
Uh
Um
huh.
and then I saw like a couple of students in that class just like reading it on their own and answering the questions on their own. And I'm there like, I can barely pronounce half of the words on here. And yeah, because I have to do this. And I can't even be like, do you guys need me to read this? No? Yes? I can't
Uh
even
huh.
do that. Like, I have to read it. So it was an hour and a half of just pure torture for me. So and I was just literally counting the clock. I was just like, let the next person come in, let the next person just free me from my misery. But
Uh
yeah,
huh.
it was horrible. I hated it. That's all I got to say.
Sounds fun.
Sounds horrible. Torture. But huh, I don't know cuz last year the regions were canceled in June because of the pandemic. So, they're trying to figure out how to administer the regions this year, and I don't know how that's going to happen.
Right, but also like, how did that work for the students? Did they just get like a free pass?
So it was more like if you passed your class, like the class that you were taking, you passed the regions.
Uh huh.
And of course, my school wants all the students. Like obviously, all schools' goal is to have all the students try to pass. But in reality, you know you're gonna have a good chunk of those students not pass because of X, Y, and Z reasons. My school is like, even if this kid is literally telling you in your face, "I don't want to do your work," you're still gonna have to force this kid to do his work, right? Um,
Or
one
just
way or another.
pass them regardless.
Exactly. I feel like the only reason why the whole handful of students that are like technically failing um are even passing because my school literally just either pushes us the teachers to do they annoy us with this and we don't think it's fair. We have 100 billion things to think about and we still got to think of these students who literally one didn't care about the class in the first place. Two, didn't even take any notes about the class. Three, we give them all the resources, don't use it. And four, we'll not do anything until we start calling parents. And even then, they still won't do the work, even with the threats of their parents. It's not until like the school gives them 100 billion thousand chances, and they're like, "Well, you gotta do it now. If not, you're
Uh
not
huh.
gonna have free time." And we're remote, so these kids literally can just be like, "Peace out, I'm not coming," and I'm just there. That's literally how I spent my Regents week, just literally being there with students for 3 hours a day, helping them with work that they should have done in the first place. Like literally from since marking period one. Now it's not to say like obviously I do love helping kids. It's not what I'm not trying to say I don't. But why am I helping you from marking period one and two when all I should be focusing on is the marking period three grades? But because my school likes to give 100 million thousand chances, I gotta help them with things from September and October, November, when I'm only supposed to be focusing things on December and January, right?
Yeah.
So
Sounds
it's
like they're never gonna learn deadlines.
no, that's exactly it, and that is oh my gosh, I don't even want to get into that. We can have a whole different conversation with next. There's a lot of tea about that because and it just gets me angry. Literally, it just got me so angry. But that's specific topic.
Right. And it seems like uh a lack of discipline in like deadlines is a common theme for a lot of companies actually.
Oh
Like you can
gosh.
just take a look at like the Cyberpunk game release where they delayed like three or four times, even after they promised that there wouldn't be any more delays. Like, just set a realistic deadline. But like, obviously, shareholders want their money, so they force you to release early, even though you know it's not ready. But like, it just seems like companies don't stick to their deadlines, and it could really be a possibility of not learning it earlier in life.
I feel like some companies who are big know that they can push and push the deadline back and still make a good chunk of money because they know that the audience is still waiting for it. You know, like it took what Final Fantasy 7 years for like the company to like actually be like, okay, we'll do a remake.
Yeah, but that's different.
I mean, but like what I mean is that like companies know that the customers are always going to want their stuff. So they can do whatever they want and the product is going to still be bought.
Yeah, I guess like the big thing with Final Fantasy VII was that it was just part one of possibly three or four. So like
Maybe.
obviously they did like expand everything and make it like a full length game, but it's just odd that they don't have a full game released.
I mean, but again, companies can break like literally the first time Final Fantasy 7 came out, the whole game was in a 3 disc thing
Yeah.
and they sold it for one price. Nowadays it's like I can now sell you one part of the game for the same price and I know you're going to buy 2 and 3 and if we want to 4 and a special edition for those games too cuz they
Yeah,
know.
Square Enix is getting very money grabby because like it seems like any uh figure or statue that they make, they sell for an inflated price. Like I think they're about to or have just released like figures from Near Automata. They have like
Uh-huh.
2B, A2 and 9S, and like obviously like they're high quality figures, but they're selling them for like $3,000.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, like,
And I know when you hear a high price tag, then all of a sudden you want to buy it, right?
I mean, no, more like, sorry if I just crumbled paper, guys. You're the audio listeners.
Oh, you have notes?
Oh no, no, no! It's because like I was putting on chapstick and I kind of overdid it, so now it's all over my finger, and I am trying to clean it. So I'm sorry for the crunch if you don't like ASMR, but no, I was going to say that for a figure like that, I would be like, listen, I think I would, unless it's a special edition, I think I would rather put that money towards something else. You
I mean,
know?
it is. It's like the mother figure or whatever, the mother
Oh
lode.
my gosh. Okay, then maybe I would
No,
have
it's
done
it's
it.
not. It's not worth it.
I mean, I know it wouldn't be worth it, but it's limited edition. That's the thing with me. The second you give me a limited edition
Uh huh.
exclusive right on there, I'm like, listen, wallet, we're gonna have problems right now.
Yeah, you're.
Pre-order.
Once you go to Japan, you're gonna have a lot of problems. There's a lot of limited edition stuff over there.
Okay, yeah.
They have all the limited stuff on display everywhere.
Oh my god. Okay, so that good thing you brought up Japan because I've been wanting to talk about Japan for a long time because I still want to go to Japan. Ever since I got into anime, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been wanting to go to Japan, especially since like in high college, I've been looking more into like life in Japan, like for example, like Sea Dog VA or Chani Day having his vlogs in Japan. Even when Anthony Padilla was dating what's her name? I forgot her name, and I really don't care about her. Um,
What's your face?
what's her face exactly? They had some Japan vlogs, and I fell in love with their Japan vlogs. Well, she was just there. Um,
Uh huh.
and abroad in Japan, like all of those YouTube
Right.
channels, like made me be like, Japan looks so cool.
But like, what parts of Japan would you want to go to?
I would want to go to. Okay, so first things first, Tokyo,
Uh huh.
because I want to just cross that crosswalk in the middle of Tokyo. I forgot what it's called, but That
The
looks fun.
Shibuya crossing, I think.
Yeah, the Shibuya crossing, that looks fun. I just want to be able to vlog
I
my
mean,
experience there.
it's okay, but it's just like a normal crossing. It's just big.
But it's just a bunch of people. Like, okay, I know Times Square has a lot of people, and I know Herald Square has a lot of people, but not like that. Just crossing all at once, not like that, which is the reason why I want to go see it.
Uh huh.
And also because the largest Starbucks in the world is located right in front of that crosswalk.
Oh, I
So
did not even look at that. I mean, I
it's
wasn't. I didn't even know Starbucks was really a thing
well,
back then.
Starbucks became a thing way later, which is really crazy. Even though they've been around for many years, but once it got popularized, because I can't speak, it beat Dunkin' by a landslide. So Starbucks is a thing.
Uh huh.
And Starbucks has its largest store in Tokyo. Like literally there's like a glass building on the side and it's on the second floor. That's the biggest and the largest Starbucks in the world, which that's what
Okay.
I want to go see.
Yeah,
Starbucks is life.
there's a lot of like glass department stores in downtown Tokyo. I think near Shinjuku Station. I got lost there.
Shinjuku. Oh
There
no.
were just so many tall glass buildings, department stores. Like I think each one was like at least 12 stories of just open floors of just stuff, and I had no idea where I was.
See, that's the thing I heard. Jaden Animations, she was talking about her trip to Japan and she was talking about the train station and how the map literally looked like the windows opening when you turn on the computer and there's like a bunch of lines. um but yeah, and
Oh, you mean the Pipes Dream
yeah,
screensaver?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that one. She compared the Japanese train map to that. And I was like, listen, I barely understood the China. Actually, no, not Hong Kong's train system. Let me breathe for a second here, because Japan, like, I heard that that train station is really, really big. There's a bunch of exits, and you can easily get
Yeah,
lost in it.
I think there's 6 floors or something, and each floor has an exit to the outside,
Oh no!
multiple exits.
Oh no!
So actually, back when I did go to Tokyo, I tried to go to a Square Enix like showroom
Mm-hmm.
that's nearby Shinjuku, and I guess I was too late for that. They just like closed down that building and left, and that was around the time where they were like displaying like Final Fantasy VII stuff. So I thought I would have been able to make it, but I was too late for that.
Oh no! But that was because you got lost, right?
No, that was a different day.
Oh, okay, never mind. I mean, I'm pretty good with visiting one place once and being able to memorize the layout of the area. I do that very well with malls cuz I
Uh
like
huh.
malls. But
I always get lost in malls. Like even in the malls that I've been to a lot, I still don't know where I am.
oh no, you take me somewhere once, like a mall once and I know exactly where almost everything is. That's just me. So like if I look.
But what about the first time? The first time you're freaking out,
Oh,
right?
the first time I'm freaking out, and that's when my brain goes into survival mode, and that's why I memorize everything. So when the second time I go, I'm not in survival mode anymore. I literally know the layout of everything. But the
Uh huh.
first time, I'm freaking out. It's all right. Everyone freaks out the first time. Maybe. I don't know. That's just me. Okay, I'm crazy. But yeah, so like if I was to go to that train station, then maybe I mean, I'll have a whole panic attack and cry in the corner the first time, but then I'll memorize the whole thing, and that's how I survive and finally find my destination.
Right. I think for that station they have like 2 basement levels, and then there's like the bottom street level, and then there's like a highway that goes above the street. So there's like another exit over there. They have like back exits into other buildings. Like for Tokyo, I guess Japan in general, where it's like a big city like Osaka or I don't think Kyoto, but they have like multiple exits in buildings that go into other buildings, and that doesn't seem like a big thing back in like the United States.
Oh no, our train stations here in New York are pretty creepy. Because New York. I mean, the thing is, here, listen to this. Listen to this. Japan, Korea, China, right? Because I've been to the Hong Kong and Chinese train stations. They have this system where trains come on time and you don't accidentally fall onto the tracks, right? Here in New York, apparently that is a fucking thing. Okay. I don't know how. I know there's accidents. There's accidents. But I've seen people go onto train tracks, take a selfie, and get back out. Like I literally seen that with my own two eyes.
Uh
How
huh.
is that even allowed? How have we as New York City have not thought of the systems that Japan or Korea or like China already made up with this stuff, and we can't have it? Aren't we supposed to be like this really smart place, like America? Excuse me, but
Well,
like
the thing is that like I guess New York City in particular, the train system's pretty old. So they just slowly upgrade like the train cars themselves, but they don't really update the stations that much, other than like major repairs or whatever. But like they have not even thought about like doing handrails or like a gate system or anything because like I guess there's also like a discrepancy between the sizes of the trains themselves. Like they don't always have like all the cars, or like different lines have different amounts of cars, and the cars themselves are like different sizes because you have some stuff from like the 80s, some stuff that's brand new, and those like total lengths are different. So even if the train conductors do stop the train like on the mark, I guess they won't hit the gates properly anyway. But like for Japan, like every train arrives on time, every train stops directly on the mark, and the doors open to the gates, and like everyone walks in file line and gets stuff like sardines because there's just too many people there.
yeah. No, see, but I would say cuz like if you guys happen to live in New York and if you don't lucky for the MTA fares. The MTA fare keeps going up because we need to do more renovations and all of this stuff, but like
What is it at now?
it right now is 275. Back
I
when
thought it was
my
285.
no, 275. I don't know. Listen, guys, I pay for the monthly, so I don't even realize if it goes up or
Uh-huh.
down. I know I'm paying 127 with the teacher whatever I have. But yeah, and back then I remember it being $1 when I was young. So
What
like
about a nickel?
a nickel.
Would get
Remember
you
the
a full subway
tokens.
run?
No, the thing is, New York has now put in like these scanners where, like, if you don't have cash or if you don't have coins and you don't want to waste plastic by buying an actual Metro card, you can just use your phone and use Apple Pay, Chase Pay, any pay to automatically pay from your phone in to get into the train station. That's now a thing here. So we can do all of these technology advancements, but we can't fix the train stations, like the actual system.
Nope.
Like that makes no sense to me. I mean, I really okay. When I went to Hong Kong and used their train station for the first time, I was in love because it was a glass door blocking anyone from even trying to go into the fucking railing because they like the train tracks because they're only allowed to open once the train is now stationed and the doors of the train open, so then the glass doors open,
Right.
and that was beautiful, and people got in and out, no problem, no shoving, no pushing. The people who were waiting to get in stood to the sides. The people who got out quickly got out, and then once everybody got out, then people walked in. Here it's like move, get out the way, right? And I'm just like, people, relax, we're all going to the same destination, but if you don't let people get out, nobody can get in, and then we New Yorkers, we get mad if you literally try to bump into us. So I don't understand, but it also could be a society thing that we're giving respect to each other and just following like society rules. Here we don't really have that much discipline. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
people will still take care of like the glass doors when we do
Definitely not.
ever have them. Yeah, because they barely take care of the turnstiles, they barely take care of the machines, they barely can take care of the train tracks because for some freaking reason we have a bunch of trash in the in the train tracks still, and it causes fires. So now the MTA has to put like warning signs like please don't throw trash into the train tracks because then it causes fires and then more delays happen, and that's why you always get mad at the MTA because nothing ever comes on time. Like people like complaining but not doing anything about it or actually trying to fix anything about it. So again, I don't know whether it is the MTA not using their money correctly or it's just society not being able to properly be respectful towards one another and the property.
Probably a mix of everything.
Yep. But
So I
yeah.
think, uh, I guess an equivalency that I see with the New York City subway system is the tracks are like an elevator without any doors. If the elevator's not there, it's just an empty hole. Once the elevator
Mm-hmm.
gets there, then you can step on. But like basically, that's how it is.
No, yeah, it definitely is like that. That's why I liked the Hong Kong, and it was so white. Like the train was white, not a stain. You go in,
Right.
it is clean. Like literally, you can sit on the floor if you want. Like that's how clean it was.
You mean the cars don't smell like pee pee?
No, it don't. Literally, and people are quiet. Quiet. Like I even felt bad talking to my classmates when I went to Hong Kong. Like I was like, it's too quiet. I mean, they weren't as quiet as Japan because
Yeah, in
I
Japan, you're not allowed to talk at all on the train.
yeah, like you'll
It's
hear
forbidden.
oh, not allowed, but like in Hong Kong, you were able to talk. I guess just people prefer to just whisper and kind of, do a little bit of chit chat here or just be on their phones.
Uh huh.
Again, to respect everybody else's space. But like I bet in Japan, it's like you can hear a pin drop.
Yeah, it's real quiet on those trains, especially the bullet trains. Can't hear
Like
anything.
and I know that the fares are expensive though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like,
Uh, so actually, my first experience with like getting on a train myself was in Japan when I went to Japan. I didn't even go like on the New York subway, other than like when I was like a baby when my parents still lived in New York.
mm-hmm,
So like my first experience with like
trains.
figuring out how trains work and like what the fare is, how to calculate the fare was in Tokyo. So
Because
typically the fare changes based on the distance traveled. I think in all over Japan. Not sure, but at least with my experience, basically you pay like $2 or whatever for like the next station over. But like if you want to go across the city, it's going to cost you like $20.
I know that like from like some of the videos I've seen, let's say you put in the wrong destination and you try to leave the station. Like let's say you wanted to try to cheat the system and like try to pay less for the actual destination you're going. You're not even allowed to because you're supposed to use your ticket to get out.
Right.
And they won't allow you to get out because you're like, well, you underpaid, so you got to go fix that.
Right. So at the exit turnstile, they have like the station guard or whatever that will announce to you, "Hey, you haven't paid your ticket. Come over here so we can update your ticket price."
That seems very helpful for like foreigners that literally have no idea what the heck they're doing, and that would be me. But also like paying for destination could also get very pricey. That's like paying food by the pound. You want cribs that's already £3 right there, and you already spent like $15.
Right.
So like I don't know, again it depends, but like a lot of people usually either go to school in their area or work around their area where they don't even have to get on the train too often,
Uh,
or I don't know.
I don't I don't know about Tokyo because it seemed like there were a lot of commuters, at least like uh enough that it's like $10 for a ticket. So I'm assuming that people would get like their monthly passes or whatever that come out cheaper, at
How
least for
much
long
are
distance
the
users.
the monthly passes if you happen to remember?
Uh, I mean, I never got one, even though I was there for like 3 weeks. But uh, I think it made sense as long as you use the train like every weekday at least, and then like on the weekend it pays for itself at that point. So like similar
Interesting.
to the MTA,
Uh-huh.
uh, at least for like normal distances traveled. I'm assuming like for longer distances, like if you basically live outside the city, like where I was, it would
Hmm.
have made more sense to get a pass.
I mean, it also depends because here in New York, there's two different things. So, like, let's say you happen to live in New Jersey or even in Long Island, right? You have to get your own separate pass for that.
Right.
On top of the MTA pass, you like for regular distance travel, you have to get. So that imagine having to pay two monthly passes a month because you have to commute every day.
Right.
You got to get to work and blah 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 blah, and like that's a lot. That's why I'd rather live here, in the city where like I don't need to go to New Jersey or I don't need to go to Long Island for any of those reasons. The most
Yeah.
I would do is like Six Flags, and that's already the bus, and that's a 1 day thing, and I don't really care. But yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, like the Japan system is very efficient, obviously. So I don't know. It seemed to work, even though it was expensive to use. But I mean, I was on vacation, so I was spending a lot of money anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how living in Japan works. My brother would know more, but he's been living out in Osaka for the past 2 years, I think.
See, that's another place I would like to visit, Osaka,
Uh
because a
huh.
lot of people's been talking about it. It would be
Yeah,
interesting to see.
it's like a more laid back Tokyo.
Mm,
I would say, like it has a lot of the same things without being like the major city.
interesting with like all the anime and games and all of that stuff.
Yeah, they still have all that, but not as much, I guess.
Interesting. Because another place I would like to visit is Sapporo, which just for the snow festival.
Uh,
Looks really cool. I can handle the cold, so it doesn't really matter to me. But it'd be really cool to see like all the ice sculptures and all the street food for that season. And yeah, it looks really fun. Again, I've been seeing a lot of like Japan vlogs again before the pandemic even happened. And it's really nice to see because I would like to also, was it Akihabara, which is like basically the destination for anime and gaming.
yeah, I believe it translates to electric town. So
It does.
essentially, it's basically they have a bunch of like computers, video games, anime, arcades.
Mm-hmm.
Arcades were a big thing before the pandemic. I think
Yeah.
Sega was basically the monopoly of
Mm-hmm.
arcade buildings, but they had to shut down some even before the pandemic. I think because they had expanded so much that they like drowned out all the competition, but they were also drowning out themselves. And then the pandemic hit, so they had to close down more.
Oh, that's so
So
sad.
it'll be interesting to see how much is still left.
I wonder how Japan even looks. I mean, because from again, like for example, abroad in Japan and Sea Dog VA, they already live, and like Joey the Anime Man or Akidiris, like they all live in Japan, so they can do like show off places in Japan. It seems pretty normal, but none of them are actually in Tokyo, and I kind of and Tokyo is like the biggest destinations where I would assume that got hit the most after like the pandemic hit. So, and I
Yeah,
kind of want to see how it looks now, or like what was shut down, or what is still paused, or like if anything is um functioning the same way. I know that Japan is reopening its doors in April, hopefully. That's what they said. Um,
the foreigners.
so foreigners, yeah. See if
Does that include the United States, or are we still banned until
listen.
after that?
The United States is like one of the most stubborn countries in the world. I am not gonna lie. Just trying to get the rule of wearing a mask seems to be like the hardest thing in the world. Like, I doubt that there's any medical reason why you shouldn't be wearing a mask in the first place. And I don't understand, like, I at least try to stay 6 feet apart, or at least as far as I can from people. Well, like if I'm in the line or something like that. But literally, the next person over who's behind me, because the person in front of me, I can control because I
Uh
can
huh.
step back. But the person behind me, like I was at the bank the other day, and I was like trying to go in to run errands for my parents. I was able to keep a good distance from me and the person in front of me. But then there was an old lady, two old ladies that literally were almost touching me. And
Tell
every
them to
time,
back off.
the thing is, I didn't want to be rude, so I just moved a little bit forward. And the second I moved, she moved. Like, I don't understand when people, what makes you, what I don't understand is you getting closer to the next person isn't making the line move any faster. Okay, I was standing on that line for 45 minutes because, again, social distancing in the bank as well. It's not moving any faster if you're literally not even a centimeter away from me. I moved 2 inches. 2 inches is all you're gonna get because the line is still not moving. I'm still in the same position. I'm still in the same place in line. Stop trying to get on me, right?
Uh-huh.
And that was a whole experience also in Six Flags as well last year. And I was just triggered. Oh my gosh.
Before the pandemic?
This was I think in July. So this was during the pandemic and Six Flags still opened their doors. They reopened their doors with safety precautions. Like they put like the tape, like the stand 6 feet apart, which the people in front of me did, and the people in front of them did, but the people literally behind me didn't. They were literally the little two old ladies that were behind me at the bank. They were literally on top of us.
Tell them to back off.
We did. And we were about to get into a fight with them, like literally a fist fight. Because there was a girl on that line who kept like trying to blame me as if like it's my fault that there's a fucking pandemic. Sorry for the curse, but like I am still trying. You realize there's a pandemic. You realize this is why we have masks on, which is it was freaking hot that day. The mask wasn't helping with the heat,
Uh-huh.
and you think that me moving forward is going to push the next person to move forward? Like the line is still not getting any faster. We're gonna move when we move, and she kept telling me, "Move up." Where the hell am I going? On top of the next person that next person can't even move either. At the end of it all, they ended up skipping 4 rows of
Uh-huh.
people to get in the front, and no one noticed. Like the staff members didn't notice until we spoke out. Like us and the group in front of us spoke out, and then they were like, the problem wasn't them, the problem was you guys because you guys had a problem with it. And it was like, no, literally once we spoke up, the 4 rows of people who were there spoke up as well. And they were like, no, they skipped the line. And the security already had let those buttholes get on the freaking ride. And then they were like, oh, now we gotta find them. You can't find them because 1, now you don't even know what they look like. 2, they got on the ride. And 3, by the time you're even talking about this, they already got off.
Uh-huh.
So they're already at who knows where. You guys are the idiots trying to say it was us who were in the wrong. Listen. I don't understand why is it so hard. That's what I'm saying. The United States is very stubborn. Yes, there's a lot of good people who know how to follow rules. And if you're going to break a few rules, at least follow the others, right? Like, put on your mask, still keep distance, even if you're going to go out. Don't do that stuff, okay? That's not cool. Which is why for us, I don't know if we're even going to be allowed to go into Japan when Japan opens, because the United States, the numbers are still up and
Right.
flying. People don't know how to act.
Did you get your vaccine yet?
So that's the thing. That the vaccines are running out and they're trying to make more. Teachers are allowed to get them first, but elementary schools teachers are priority before we are, like high school and middle school teachers, because
Uh-huh.
we're not in the building. Elementary school kids are in the building.
Right.
So I tried making appointments in the Javits Center, Mount Sinai, and all of this place, and they're like, we don't have appointments anymore. We are all booked. And my union is like, we'll let you know when we find an appointment for you. And nothing yet. I know some of my friends who are also teachers have gotten their first dose and they are still waiting on their second.
Uh-huh.
Because you need 2.
Right.
So I'm just like, well, I got none. You guys barely got the first one. And we're all here just waiting for the next round of vaccines to come in. So let's hope that comes in soon.
Yeah, it seems like distribution is really the problem rather than supply. Uh, because I think like the vaccine's very volatile, so it doesn't really stay. I guess it expires quickly, especially if it's not in like the perfect environment. So I think doses have actually gotten bad, so they haven't been able to use them because they weren't distributed properly.
I know there are some people, like, I don't know where I heard this from. I forgot, probably one of like the news stations or something. That people have been taking vaccines for themselves. I don't know how that works.
Like the nurses.
I don't even, I don't remember.
Uh huh.
I just know that a lot of vaccines went missing at some point. Again, I could be totally wrong on that. I don't remember exact details, but I heard that. And I'm just like, well, now people are getting greedy because right now only vaccines are available for those in priority.
Uh huh.
So I don't know.
I mean, like with this whole pandemic, Japan hasn't actually had like a much better response. They just have so much lower numbers based primarily on like the prevalence of mask usage and like the cleanliness of everything. Like Japan's all about cleaning like the sidewalk, the buildings, handrails, everything. Even before the pandemic, they would clean everything all the time, and people would wear masks if they weren't feeling well or if they didn't want to catch something. Like in my first trip to Japan, I saw like maybe between 5 to 10% of people just wearing masks normally on a day-to-day basis. So it's just even like basic stuff like that has helped them to keep their numbers down, even though they didn't really have like a full lockdown, and they didn't really have any sort of plan set out for like testing and even for the vaccine, I think. But they also like have help because they are an island, so they can pretty much bar entry to their ports. So obviously that helps, but I think like the big thing is because of the widespread masks usage and just like the cleanliness of everything in general, except for those standing toilets. I don't know why they're still a thing, but they are a thing, and there's no soap in public bathrooms. I don't know if that changed recently, but basically every public bathroom I went to, no soap,
See,
except for the arcade ones. Those
oh,
had
oh,
soap, so I
oh,
used those when
interesting.
I was. If I had to use the bathroom when I was out in the middle of Tokyo, I went to the arcade just to use the bathroom.
It's like, um, who cares about your cleanliness? Come to the arcade. We got good stuff here.
Yeah, like even in, I guess it doesn't really make sense, but like in the hostel where I first stayed with my brother before we went out to his place outside the city, in the hostel there was no soap at the bathrooms either. You had to bring your own, which I guess makes sense since it is like a public bathroom or whatever. But it'd still be nice if they provided something, because like the toilets, when they aren't the standing ones, they have gadgets galore, and I think they have their own soap on the attachment thing that they use for the bidet.
I mean, see, when you said that, like, in Japan, they always done the mask thing and the cleanliness all the time,
Right.
that just makes total sense. But again, would that be considered just a society thing where if you are sick, put on a mask? And that was
Yeah,
just a basic
totally.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is it that it's so hard to do here when literally it's just a mask? You can still breathe, you can still walk. It's not letting you not be disabled or handicapped or anything like that. You are literally still doing what you need to do just with a mask on. Like, I don't even see, then I've never heard any like doctor say you wearing a mask is going to be the most riskiest thing to you in your in life. Like,
Right.
what? Never seen that. If doctors can wear that, surgeons can wear that for 16 hours straight, what the hell can you do it? Why? I don't understand. If Japan can do it and they really don't give up when they do it, because they obviously do it all the time, it's like they're not gonna complain.
Yeah.
If anything, you would be look a little down upon if you're like outside going and obviously you're not wearing a mask and people are like, bro, do you need a mask or something? Because you a little sick right here. You're
Uh-huh.
not trying to get anyone else sick, right?
I
That's
mean,
what I don't
it
understand.
it's like the individual versus the collective mindset. In Japan, you have collective society that basically people try to put on the forefront. Like help society also helps yourself in the long run, so why not do it? But in the United States, it's me, 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 me.
Oh,
Uh,
we're so selfish here.
give me money, give me everything. I want everything. Give it to me. I don't care about anyone else. I don't care who I'm messing up in the process. I don't care if I'm exploiting third world countries. I don't care if I'm exploiting child labor. Give me
Hmm.
what I want, and I will keep all the money to myself.
Exactly. 110% agree. I again, I don't understand, but I think that's one of the things that like kind of brings the differences between how the United States is and like how other countries are. Cuz like even the smallest thing like in Japan, and this is like has like is way off from what we were just talking about, but like in Japan, just with the tipping system, there is no tipping system because you shouldn't be giving tips. They have this mindset that they are working for the salary. You giving them free money kind of makes it seem like you're losing face, you know?
Right.
But here
It's like you're
is,
insulting them because you think they aren't getting paid enough or whatever. Like
or they're
as
not,
if they're in a low paying profession because there's something wrong with them.
or like a oh, you not being your 110% isn't the normal? What? Like here in the United States, um you now it's a really big thing that you have to tip because people are not getting paid enough and people won't do their job unless they're getting extra for it even though that is their job.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense if you're getting paid less than minimum wage unless you get tips, but uh I mean like recently I've when I've been ordering out, I just like tip 20% or more even though it's just a delivery.
Mhm.
Typically I would have only been doing 20% at a sit down restaurant where like the waiter or waitress was like involved and made sure everything was correct and all that. But like
Right.
for deliveries, I typically it used to be only like $2 or $3 or whatever. Like it wasn't even a percentage base, but I'm just basing like 20% or ish. Like and that comes out to like $4 or $5. Like it's more than what it used to be, even though it's
Mhm.
just a delivery. And the places I get delivery from are close by, so it's not like it's a 20-mile drive like it would be like back home.
Yeah. No, right, right. But like right now, delivery services are the most essential just cuz we're trying to avoid people going outside.
Right.
Um and a lot of small businesses need the customers. So, I mean, tipping is always good. Yesterday I went to the nail salon and I tipped like $20.
Uh huh.
It was like what's I mean, I don't know math. I'm not the smartest with math, but like what would be a 20% of like 120?
24.
Right. So something like that. Or some yeah, something like that. Like you have to think about the situations and people like yes, because I know waitresses and like anyone that does tips get paid less, even though I don't see how why. Because
Because
then they
it's
can
allowed in the law that they can pay them whatever, like $2.13 an hour,
yeah,
unless they don't make up the difference in tips, and they have to pay them the minimum state wage or whatever.
which is
But
so dumb.
yeah, but like if a waiter or waitress isn't making above minimum wage with tips, then the owner's just gonna fire them.
That too, but I know there's also restaurants that does a collective. So like they
I don't,
round
I
they
don't, I don't see how that's legal. Collective tipping system.
yeah, because I know some of the rest like ramen restaurants I go to, it's a collective. That's why
Uh
you
huh.
don't get assigned just one waiter. You get assigned like different waiters, whoever like is available to pick up the food and bring it to you, right? And you can ask different waiters to do like, oh, if you have the one who took your order, another one comes to bring you your food, and then you ask another waiter to like if you can add a Coke to your bill, and then there's another waiter coming and bringing you the check, right? You don't have one person responsible for your table.
Uh-huh.
So at the end, the tip becomes a collective thing, whereas at the end of the night, it then gets divided between all of the like the waiters.
I guess. I'm assuming that also includes back of house though, like the chefs and everyone.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, like in Jingfeng, uh, you have like the cart people that just go by and you get the food from them. They add it to your order or whatever, and you add a tip at the end on your bill. So I'm assuming that goes to everyone as well.
Yeah, I think anyone on the floor, that would make complete sense, because like for chefs, they have to get their own salary, because if
Right.
not, would they care? Then they would be like, oh, it was the waiter's fault that we didn't get good tips tonight,
Uh-huh.
right? The chefs still need to do 110% of their job in the back, which is why I think they get their set salary and that's it. While the waiters and, like, people doing the dim sum, or anybody in the front, like even the baristas, or like the sushi makers that are a separate section.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the sushi makers, I think it would still count as chefs, but like everyone else, like the ones at the bar, or the ones serving or bringing the food, or like the bus boys, anybody on the floor would be a part of that collective.
Okay.
I think that's how it would work. I mean, if anyone who works as a waiter, or waitress, or bartender, or bus boy, I think that's what it's called. The ones
Uh,
that pick up the dish, like the dirty plates at the end.
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. Let us know if you're watching and listening to us on YouTube. Let us know in the comments below if that's it. Because we're a little ignorant here. I mean, I've never worked in the food industry, so I wouldn't know. I mean, I'm just assuming that's what it sounds like. I've done retail.
Uh-huh.
I used to get paid $5 the hour, and I still gave 110% um of my work and ethics into my
Yeah,
job, but because
that
that's
was
just how I am.
that was illegal.
Oh no, definitely completely illegal. But during the time, it was like 750 the
Yeah.
minimum, um,
So,
and then it went up to 850, and then $11 the hour. Um, really quick, like, and I was still only making 750 by that time. But the reason why I still gave 110% was because it was my job. I was hired to do something which it required me to be polite, take care of customers, do X, Y, and Z, even though I was doing more than what my other coworkers were doing. But that's just how I would grew up. Like, no matter what position you're put in, you still need to give your 110%, even if you're being paid trash. Like my job now, like my career now, teachers do a lot for the crappiest salary. Like in other countries, teachers are the number one top like salaries in the country, getting paid over 100,000 a year,
uh-huh.
while in the United States is one of the lowest. Bringing the
Yeah.
education to a kid, and yet you can't even slack off or give any less, because you have literally the future of your students in your hands. So you, as a human being, if you're a teacher, you're basically what they say is true. If you're in for the money, don't be a teacher, because that's not how it works. You're a teacher because you actually care about kids, not because you're in for the money. It's not easy money. It will never be easy money. This career I chose is hardworking, and it's time consuming. You're not done when it's 3 o'clock. You're done whenever you're done with actual work. You have papers to grade, you're probably going to stay up until like 10 p.m. That's just how it works. You still work once you're home. That's me. I still work when I'm at home. I still have to make lessons at home because I have no time to do it during the actual day.
Yeah,
You have
I'm
clubs and
I'm
all of that stuff.
I'm never doing that.
Yeah, so
Something like
people
that.
who do a 9 to 5, they're like, chop chop, it's 5 o'clock, bitches. I am going out. I'm home. I don't gotta see any more paperwork. I don't got anything to do. I am free. While I'm here, like, oh, you're free? Okay, give me an hour. I need to make like 2 lessons and grade some papers. No, actually, give me about 3 hours. That's not gonna be enough time. And then you gotta go do that, plus on top of things that you have to do when you get home, right? But yeah, so my mindset from how I grew up is whatever you're doing, give 110% because that is your job.
Uh-huh.
Fake it till you make it, right?
I guess.
Yeah, I know a lot of people hate their job because of their boss or because it's like a crappy job. Not saying every job is decent as long as you're no, it's clean money. You work at a fast food job, you're getting paid. It's clean, right? You work at a retail store. It's clean. You should be fine. It's your job. Yes, you might hate it. It's not the best thing in the world. It doesn't pay for the bills, but it's still your job. Like, honestly, I mean, I don't know. I can't judge people. You guys know what you're going through. I can't really speak for you, but for at least for me, that's what I did. Even though I was getting paid the least out of everybody in my job back then,
Uh-huh.
um, I still gave more than what they did. But that's because I knew that I was giving a service, and I need to be respectful because it's not the customer's fault that I'm getting paid $5 the hour. It's my boss's fault. Why am
Uh-huh.
I going to be hating on the customers when it's my boss? And because of that energy that I gave, I almost maybe I've had like maybe one or two customers who were rude to me. One or two in the 2 years I've been working at that retail.
Uh-huh.
And I got tipped twice when I didn't need to. But that's also because like I gave what I gave. None of my other coworkers got tipped and they got jealous of me. So I'm just saying,
Maybe
I'm
they
doing
were the ones that stole your phone.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. No, we saw it on the actual security cameras that it was some random dude in the street who walked in, saw a phone and walked out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He had a hoodie.
No. But the camera was, trash, so we couldn't really identify who this person
Right.
was. So yeah, and I doubt the police are actually going to go and find a person for one phone, right?
Especially one that you erased all your info on, so there was no real way to track it anyway.
Yeah. They turned off the phone, so not even find my iPhone was working.
Right. I don't
But
know.
I don't know. You know what?
What?
I don't even know how I was gonna say the United States sucks, but I mean a lot of people do like it. And now that we have a new president, hopefully a lot of things start to change. And things get better. And I just hope for more positive outcomes. Because now I heard that the 1.9 is it billion or trillion? Billion. I'm gonna say billion.
Trillion. I think
Trillion.
trillion.
Okay, 1.9
Is it?
trillion because I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know. Got passed. So now we might be getting $1,400 in the bank soon.
Yeah.
Maybe. Um the relief again, 1,400 isn't enough for a lot of families. But again, it's better than nothing and they're trying. They're
Yeah.
trying. And I'm glad that they're trying because the last time we got was
Zero
600.
zero Republicans voted for this.
I know.
Zero.
I know. Isn't that crazy? It's because all of them, they have enough
Did you just
money.
throw your keyboard?
No, was that you?
No, it was you.
I don't even have my keyboard.
What? Oh, what'd you toss? You
I didn't
tossed
toss
something.
anything.
Huh.
I'm literally away from my desk. Listen, guys, again, this is
There's a
all
ghost.
remote.
There's a
It was a
ghost.
ghost. There's a ghost in the podcast. Listen, ghost caught live in the podcast because that did sound like a keyboard, and I thought that was you.
What? It sounded like it came from you, though.
But my keyboard is literally 2 feet away from me,
Uh,
and it's like in
con-
the middle of my desk.
continue your thing that you were saying.
Oh, okay. Because last time we got 600, and what is 600? Not even half a rent. In New
Yeah,
York, 600 is not even half your rent.
it's like a week of rent.
A week of your rent. A week of rent. Oh my gosh. Oh no. But I'm saying and I'm saying also they didn't want that because the Republicans are like, I'm doing fine without it. And it's like, but you are making so much money. You all are basically rich. Of course you're okay
Yeah,
because you still have your job. You're guaranteed your job for another 4 or 5 years. I don't know. People who are not in that position and are living in high rent places because they have no other choice but to live there, and are struggling to make ends meet, it's either food or rent, and they gotta always choose a lot of the time. And you're telling me you can't give out $1,000 to these people? Is that how it is?
Yeah.
That's really how it is. Oh, but you want a relief, right, from your tax cut? Oh, okay, okay, Mister. Uh huh. Sure. Why don't we just tax the rich, and whatever that's being taxed, you give it to the relief fund? Why not?
I don't know why not, because apparently we can now pass things without any Republican support, so we should just tax the rich
I
like we should.
really hope so, because now the Democrats took, well, they're both the House and the Senate, right? Or are they
I
just
don't
the Senate or the House?
I
I don't
believe
know.
both. Yeah,
I
I think
think they're
both.
both, because that's why a lot of the Republicans are triggered, and that's what they get. That's what they get for being on Trump's side that whole 4 years and still ongoing. You know, a lot of them have been abandoning him. A lot of Trump's lawyers have abandoned him. They were like, I ain't getting into this mess here. You defending you is like getting myself canceled too. I ain't doing it.
Yeah, because the only way he can pay them is with dark money. So they're not going to accept that because they're going to get blackmailed and like their career's over.
Yeah, it's done. Like, you do anything with Trump at this point is literally done. I still don't know why isn't he not in jail yet.
I
How
don't
much
know.
more evidence do you need, my boy? Just talking about the last 4 years is so triggering to me.
It's crazy.
Oh man. I don't know. That's why I kind of like just want to book a plane, first class, go to Japan, relax, look at Tokyo. See, that's why just crossing that crosswalk makes me happy.
Uh huh.
Because all I'm doing is crossing a crosswalk in a different country that their COVID cases are low and their society has been doing a little of the things right. Because I still don't agree with their overtime hours, which makes no sense. You have to stay 5 hours after your shift ends because you will look and lose face in front of your boss. Your boss doesn't give a crap. Don't stay. Go home to your family. Get some rest. Get some sleep. The fact that if you're sleeping on the job makes you look like a hard worker, that is the wrong thing to do. That's the wrong thing to start teaching. Imagine that saying happening here. Everybody who's already not talking about the hard workers and still can't make ends meet. I'm talking about literally the lazy people.
Uh huh.
Oh, I'm sleeping at work because I work so hard. I work so hard. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You stood up all night playing video games. That's not my fucking fault. Like, imagine that mindset here. Instead of
Yeah.
people working harder, it's gonna be the opposite.
Basically.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh man. Oh man. Ew, horrible. I just want to go to that Starbucks in Tokyo.
Uh huh.
Just, just get whatever new tea that they have, because in Hong Kong they didn't have my Trenta raspberry green tea lemonade.
Oh
No, no,
no.
no. No, no, no. One, their Trenta, no, they don't even have Trenta over there. They have Venti, and their Venti is a fucking grande. Literally, maybe a little bit more than a grande size
Uh
for
huh.
double the price. And you know what? I took that venti with pride and drank my iced hibiscus tea, whatever it was. I have a picture of it on my other phone because I will never forget that drink, because that drink is so fucking delicious, and I will go back to China just for that drink.
I feel like there were a lot of other tea places you could have gone to for like an iced tea for like half the price.
No, 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 no. I saw this. Okay, look, the Starbucks are only located in the rich areas of where I was, which obviously you will see me there because we went to do this charity work. It was literally a rich high school trying to raise money for like students who in need of books and clothes and food. Because we went to go visit and donate a bunch of supplies
Uh
to
huh.
students who literally had to leave their own families to get an education at a school that was really, really, really underfunded. Like it's like so bad. Um, like kids are leaving their families. It's like leaving to war. Instead of protecting their country, they're going to get an education.
So they were like boarding schools or whatever.
It wasn't even like boarding school. It was like the only school that was available to educate students for free.
Uh huh. So they had to commute every day for like a couple
No,
hours,
no, it's
or
not
was that?
commuting. Literally, they're living at the school.
Yeah. So it's a boarding school,
I mean, I guess, but you're not paying for it. No one's paying for it.
a free boarding school.
A free boarding school, and these kids have to still do their own laundry, prepare their own food. Well, like they get help obviously for food because stoves and stuff, but they have to wash their own clothes, make their own bed, clean their own rooms, do everything themselves.
Uh huh.
Even organize the school. Like they even still have to clean the school.
I mean, makes
Like
sense. I would think.
yeah, but it's like it was literally like it was in an area where not even any phone signal was able to reach there.
Uh huh.
And it was like this supplies, like literally just a packet of crayons made this like all these kids happy. Just having a variety of colors. And that just made me want to cry because like I just think of all of these kids who literally have to work so hard every day to get an education while we have kids here. And again, I'm not saying those who are trying their best and they're just not getting it. Though I'm not talking about kids who have IEPs. I'm not talking about kids who need accommodation. I'm talking about literally kids who just don't give a crap
Uh huh.
and want everything handed to them. Those kids, like I'm not hating on any kids. I will always love every student that I have, but it just makes me so sad that that kids that are leaving their families, having to grow up on their own basically with their teachers, underfunded. They have to build their own community to feel like they're at home,
Uh huh.
being happy about a packet of crayons that they can finally use for their classwork. And we have kids here who can't appreciate nothing.
Right.
Like they're not happy if they don't have the latest PS5. They're not happy if they
Well,
can't
I'm
go
not
to.
happy I don't have the PS5,
Okay, but
so
listen. I was gonna say because literally, listen. Kids are not happy if they don't have an Arizona or they can't go to the deli in the morning. Like what? Me, literally, I never. Only the only times I ever went to the deli during school days was when I had a trip, and that was if we ever had a trip. And my dad would buy it for me, not here's money and go get it. No, we're going in the morning. You're eating this at 12, so I don't care if it's in your bag for 4 hours.
uh
you're
huh.
you're taking it with you. Like, no, these kids literally get $20 in the morning, go to the freaking deli, get their bacon, egg, and cheese, chips, and a soda, because they don't know what water is, and take it to school. And that's how they financially can't afford it. Because imagine giving your kid every day $10 to get breakfast. On top of that, after school, if your kid wants to hang out with their friends and they still need money for lunch, right? That's like $15 to $20 right there every single day.
I would have just kept the money and not eat.
Me too. Me too. But look, look. But you see that? They get everything in their hands and they don't know how to use it properly.
Uh huh.
Like that's the thing. That's what made me want to cry when I was in China for this. But like back to my story. So like we went to this mall, which it was like literally for only rich people, right? Um like it was so fancy. Like it was one of the fanciest malls I've ever seen in my life.
Uh huh.
Fudge the Mall of America. No, this mall right here was Gucci. Gucci and Louis and all of them combined. Like beautiful, clean. It was glossy. It was white, not a drop of like any stains or whatever. Like there was a fashion show happening in front of my eyes while I was doing this charity work. And we literally was there like telling people like, hey, this is to like help support kids for their education. And literally these people were dropping in thousands in the box. Like they just went into their wallet, grabbed chunk of their cash and just threw it in the box. Like there was these people who didn't care how much they were donating. They were just donating because they didn't care about the cash in their freaking wallets. And just in case they didn't have cash, this is how innovative it was. You have WeChat, Alipay, just scan our QR code. Send us money through there too.
Uh-huh.
Like, bruh. I love China's system of payment. It's so awesome. But I still like looking at the actual physical cash. It's really pretty. But yeah, you have no excuse. If you're coming to this mall, you got money. You have no excuse to not donate. Um, but
Did
yeah,
you take pictures of them all?
what?
Pictures of the
Oh,
mall.
the mall. Okay, this is the thing. I took very little. One, because we were very busy with the fundraising. I did take a picture of the Starbucks because when we had a break, we went to that Starbucks. I went to that Starbucks.
Uh-huh.
I, and the funny thing is, the Starbucks card and app doesn't work in China, so I had to buy a separate, and the card, like a gift card, isn't free. That's basically a membership. You're buying a membership. So I even bought a membership in China to get
Wait,
the Starbucks.
but you weren't even there that long, right?
No, but I was at the Starbucks every time I was able to.
Uh-huh.
Like the second we walked by a Starbucks, can we walk in for a second? Like I really want this. Like that was me. I was the annoying one.
The
Um
addicted one.
yeah, but I and when we were in the mall, I was in awe. Like it was like if you took a 5-year-old to Disney World for the first time. Like that's how I was. Like I was just like looking at everything. I wanted to just run around and look at everything.
Uh-huh.
So like my brain was in such an awe and like just looking at everything I was seeing that I completely forgot I had a phone. But I remember, that's the thing. I remember how the mall looks in my brain. So if you can, you know, print the pictures from my brain onto actual, picture paper, whatever it's called, then yes, I could do that for you. But
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, I cannot. So, uh, but that's
Let
the
me
thing.
just scan your brain real quick.
I mean, yeah, yeah. Just here's the USB right there. But that's the thing. That's when I said earlier that literally, if you take me back to that mall, I would know where everything is.
Uh-huh.
I also remember there's this Burger King in that mall, and it's not like your typical Burger King that's like very shady and like questionable, right? Because in New York, almost every fast food place is a little bit questionable unless they're like re-innovated and like it's like a new design. This Burger King was like if Gucci decided to sponsor Burger King. That's how it looked like. It was so fancy. And the reason I remember it is because it's like at the very end of the other side of the mall in like this little corner.
Uh-huh.
And the Burger King was blue and a little bit of black because it was to promote their Oreo ice cream cone, which was a vanilla ice cream, like soft serve with a Oreo um, cookie cone. And I bought one and it was delicious.
Gimme.
Then they had their own Haagen Dazs, which was twice the price of Haagen Dazs here. It was like $16 for an ice cream cone. I still got it because it was the most fanciest Haagen Dazs I've ever seen. It was literally the smallest cone, like not even like the big waffle cones. It was like regular size waffle cones.
Are you
Um,
sure they didn't just overcharge you because you were a foreigner?
no, no, no. Literally, it's funny because
Because I know I've definitely been ripped off because I'm white,
oh
which is
no.
funny, but
Yeah.
uh,
No, but like I was with my friend who was actually Chinese.
uh-huh.
The thing is that she can't speak Mandarin. She actually speaks Cantonese, but where we were at, they only spoke Mandarin. So they would look at her and ask, "What would
Wait,
we
Hong
want?"
Kong? I thought they
No,
spoke
this was in
Cantonese there.
oh no. No, I'm not talking about Hong Kong. I'm talking about mainland China.
Oh,
I forgot to
across the
mention
river,
that.
right?
What?
Across the river, right?
Yeah,
Where
so
like
this
you had
was
to take the ferry or whatever.
yeah. So we were in
Okay.
mainland China. So we were in the Guangdong province, Zhuhai, which is the city that we were in. Um, Apparently Zhuhai has one of the most cleanest airs in China. So I
I
was not
mean,
smelling and breathing in
that's
any.
not saying much, but better than nothing. I
Oh my
guess.
gosh, no, like literally you walk there, it's like if you were walking through heaven. Like
Okay,
I'm not even
that's good.
exaggerating. Like it was so beautiful, it was so clean. Like if it rained the night before, you don't even notice it the next day. Like beautiful. Love it. I want to go back. That's one of the destinations I really want to go back to. But anyways, the reason why I know I didn't get ripped off is because one, in places like Haagen Dazs and Burger King and everything in like malls, everything's already priced,
Uh
and
huh.
it's like an automatic electronic register that they use. And because you're still paying with like Alipay or WeChat Pay, they have to give you an electronic receipt. So like everything was there, and even if it wasn't like that, my friend, again, she's Chinese, they literally look at her and be like, "What do you want?" And she's
Uh
just
huh.
like, I can't speak Mandarin, I speak Cantonese." And they're like, "What?" I'm so confused. So like
Uh huh.
it's like, wow, we have two foreigners now. Who are you? Like, yeah,
Basically.
that's how it was. But no, everyone was friendly. Not one. I don't think there was one person that I had like a bad experience with, like in retail or anything. Like they were all so nice. Everyone was really nice. Even the rich people there was nice. And honestly, like I'm a little questionable with like rich people because they can be arrogant or whatever.
I
Not
mean, I
all.
think all the arrogant rich Chinese people moved to Vancouver. Just
Oh,
saying. Just
oh.
saying.
I
Just
didn't
throwing
say
some
that, guys.
tea. Just
Don't
throwing some tea.
cancel me. I didn't say it.
No, but it's
But
true because they basically bought all the residential buildings and they
mm-hmm.
just raised the rent everywhere. So it's like three
Oh
thousand
wow.
dollars for one bedroom or whatever. So
Oh no.
that's where the jerks live.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Oh nah. But the rich people were really nice. They actually saw us, like the foreigners, and they like were interested. And we were like trying to speak to them in Mandarin. They thought they were like, "Oh, you guys are so cute," and we're like, "We're trying here.
Uh
We
huh.
barely can speak it, right?" But like, see, if we were writing in a text message with me and the rich people, I'd be the most advanced. But
What do you mean?
speaking, like, because I'm better at reading and writing.
Uh,
Me and listening and speaking, I have problems with that still. But like, um, trying
yeah.
to
I mean, I had a bunch of problems in Japan as well.
you took Japanese.
Okay, yeah. So I had taken Japanese at my previous college and dropped out, whatever. But after that, basically coming out of a Japanese intermediate Japanese class, I went to Japan, so I was able to sort of speak Japanese, kind of. At least the
Hmm.
where's the toilet kind of deal.
Where's the
But
toilet? Where's the bathroom? I gotta go.
yeah, basically. But a lot of the signs didn't have English on them, so it was kind of hard to
Oh
tell where I
gosh.
was. But eventually, I got it.
See, that was the difference for me. In Hong Kong, there was English everywhere. So that wasn't too bad. Most of the people there spoke English, so again, it wasn't bad
Uh
in
huh.
Hong Kong. But when we got to Macau, I was the only one who basically understood everything because everything was in Portuguese. Now, I'm not saying I know Portuguese. It looked very similar to Spanish, which I know, which is why I was like, "Oh, I can read this." Um or
Is it
at least
Macau where where the Portuguese warlords went to?
mhm. Mhm.
Okay,
So,
got it.
yeah, Macau, it was Portuguese and Mandarin, but also Cantonese. I might be mistaken because I know in Hong Kong it's Cantonese and English,
Right.
and some Mandarin here and
British
there.
English,
Yeah, British English. Cause, but again, everything
not
Hong
American.
Kong. Okay. My best way to describe Hong Kong is a best of both worlds. And let me explain it. Let me explain what I mean by that. And literally
Well,
just by the huh?
no, just continue.
Oh, so based from what I when I went and based on what I've seen, you get the pretty like the coast, the river, the nice beautiful nature. Like you're still in the city, but it's so nice and relaxing, and like you can literally just sit there on the bench and watch birds fly. That's one area of Hong Kong. The other area of Hong Kong, like have you seen like in Japanese animes, like um you walk in like dark alleyways and there's like all of these like um video games and like all of these big, like basically Tokyo at night.
Uh-huh.
That was basically the other side of Hong Kong.
Okay.
So it was like beautiful, rich, high life part of Hong Kong where you can literally get away from all the busy and crazy stuff in the other side of Hong Kong. And that one day that we were there, we saw both. And it was crazy and it was so cool and it was just awesome. There was just so much to do, but we were literally only there for one day, not even 10 hours.
Wow.
And I wanted to, and that was the day I had basically run out of money and I was so upset with myself. There was all of these malls, there was all of this stuff to do and I didn't have money.
Yeah, because you kept buying Haagen-Dazs for $16 for
No,
a
no, no,
small
no, no.
cone.
I bought only Haagen-Dazs once.
Uh-huh, sure.
No, no, no. I definitely did. Starbucks, I will say I bought more times than I should have. But
Uh-huh.
Haagen-Dazs, I only bought once. What was really kicking my butt was getting refrigerated water.
Right.
Because in China, at least
You can't drink
every
the tap water, right? Or
I
you just don't
no,
like it.
no, no, no. We can't. No, you can't drink tap water over there.
Okay. All right.
So it was always bottled water. But
Uh-huh.
everybody was okay with just regular room temperature or really hot bottled water. I can't have anything hot. It
Not even
upsets
tea?
my. Not even hot tea, not hot coffee, not even room temperature water. Nothing. I can't have
Soup.
any. That's funny because soup doesn't upset my stomach, but anything that's like a beverage that's hot
Well, because
upsets
soup
my stomach.
soup is fatty, so it like lines your stomach, so it helps you not to explode.
Yeah, I guess that's what like helps my stomach not feel so disgusting afterwards.
Except for cabbage soup.
Okay, all right. So my dad makes this beautiful detox cabbage soup. You eat two
Detox.
bowls. It tastes so delicious and beautiful.
Uh-huh.
But in like 20 minutes, you have to take the biggest crap. Literally
Okay.
everything's cleansing your system, and you're just there like, well, my stomach kind of hurts. I kind of need to use the bathroom. Literally everything leaves your system, and then once you walk out, you're like, wow, I feel like I've been reborn. That's literally
Uh-huh.
me every time I have cabbage soup from my dad. My dad makes like the best.
I see. I don't know if we want to end on that though.
No, 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 no. Hold on. I still have more to
Oh,
say.
oh, oh, okay.
I
Okay.
have more to say today.
All
Oh
right.
my gosh. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Hong Kong. Okay, so here's the thing. Because I can't have warm or hot beverages, I had to buy a bunch of cold or refrigerated water stuff.
Uh-huh. Like
And
$5 a bottle.
it was okay, it wasn't that expensive, but I constantly had to buy, you
Right,
know,
like multiple bottles a day.
multiple bottles a day. Like I even bought a 36 pack, I think it was a box of water,
Wait,
but
but
there
how'd you
was
keep it cold?
no, that's the thing. I couldn't because there was
Oh,
no available refrigerator.
so
He
you
was
messed up.
so I messed up. I effed up. Either there was a refrigerator on the sixth floor, which I wasn't gonna do. I'm only on the second floor where I was staying at, and you had to walk up the stairs, and you needed a key card to get through the main door.
Uh-huh.
So again, I wasn't gonna do that. Two, the second refrigerator was on my floor. However, um, the principal and the principal's wife, who are also living at the school, they like and like the head chef for them likes
Uh-huh.
leaving raw meat out without any covering.
What?
So that the only place I can put it is with the meat, and I didn't want to do that either because of
That's
bacteria and stuff. Um,
that's the meat freezer?
yeah, basically.
Ew.
So I didn't want to do that either. So my only option was literally to buy.
Suffer.
No, there wasn't even salsa there either.
No, suffer.
Oh, suffer. Yeah, I suffer or I just buy more water.
Uh-huh.
Again, it was a constant thing. And I went in the summer.
Yeah, not sure why
It
you did that.
it was okay. It was a study abroad program. I didn't have a choice. It was whatever time they actually were gonna go. But in China, in the end of May and the beginning of June. besides like the third week of June, around that time. It
Uh
was
huh.
the worst heat I've ever felt. Like I thought New York was bad.
Because it's humid over there.
It was like I just kind of wanted to die every single day. Like as much as I wanted to leave my room, because my room, I didn't have a roommate. Everyone else had a roommate. I didn't have a roommate.
Lucky
Um
you.
Lucky me, but I got bored and lonely. I didn't have literally internet service. Well, the phone that I took with me, I had it unlocked but with no service on it.
What's the
And
point? What's
and
the
yeah,
point?
but then when I did
Oh,
sorry, I lost
oh,
track of
I
thought.
thought I lost you again.
No, no,
No,
no. I
I thought it
literally
was
okay.
internet. Okay.
No, no, no. It's like me with track of thought. No, no, no. So when I went to the phone company in China, they then said my phone was locked. And
Uh
I was
huh.
like, but no, it's not. And they were like, but in our system, it says it is. Again, I wasn't the one talking to them. My professor was talking to them. So I had to buy a completely new phone with China service
Well, it's
that,
probably because you bought it in the U.S. It was specifically made not to work in China or something.
oh,
Like
maybe,
regardless of having a service, it's just like region locked.
probably. But like, even then, like, the China is restricted. Like everything is restricted. So like you can't use Google, you can't use YouTube, you can't do anything, right?
Only
So
WeChat.
only WeChat, right? And that sucked. So like my classmates didn't want to come to my room or didn't want to be bothered. We all had a long day, so I was in my room just watching the same 5 movies I had downloaded before I got there. Literally the same 5 movies. There was no
Any TV
Wi-Fi.
shows though?
I had three,
Uh huh.
no, one whole season of America's Next Top Model and like 3 other anime TV shows. Um, yeah, literally watching the same thing over and over again because
Sad.
like everybody would be in their rooms by like 8 o'clock, like 9 p.m., and I would be freaking bored. And it wasn't until when we went to what was it in Macau? We went into this really nice mall, and there was Wi-Fi.
Uh huh.
So I took out my iPhone so fast. I literally spent $100 on iTunes and like 4 or 5 movies. And
Wow.
I just clicked that download button at so fast. I try to try to push the time back that like, oh,
Wait.
let's
So
go see this
you
or let's go see
everything
that.
on your you watched everything on your phone?
I was watching everything on my quote unquote locked phone.
Uh huh.
Um and it was the only phone that was able to like receive Wi-Fi. Um so yeah, I was downloading all that stuff on that phone and literally using the mall's Wi-Fi. And I literally was like, I can't leave this position because the second I go over there, I lose the Wi-Fi connection, and I
Uh
still
huh.
have 3 movies to download. So, can you give me like 15 minutes? um,
So it was free Wi-Fi.
it was free Wi-Fi, yeah,
Oh,
and
I don't think that's a thing in Japan.
really,
There's Wi-Fi everywhere, but you have to pay for it.
oh my gosh, trying to get the cha-ching, cha-ching.
I guess so. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, it was free Wi-Fi. I was really excited. Was able to download 4 movies. The fifth one did not download on time because we had to go, and I was really sad. Um, and what was even more sad is when I got back, I binge watched 2 movies, and then the next day was another 2 movies, and then I
Uh
got
huh.
bored again. Like it didn't even last. I was there for three
Right.
weeks and 4 movies, $100 didn't last. Now, what was the worst
You
thing?
paid full price for these movies or something?
Oh yeah, I did, and I
Wow.
try to be cheap about it too, to like look for like cheap movies to watch, but they didn't have good options. So I bought like for example, I bought like the Terminator movie, which was I think $20 at the time. I have
Yikes.
bought yeah, I know. I have bought what do you call it? Uh Escape Plan. I have bought Grave of the Fireflies. I have bought Predator, What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Like, I bought these movies that I already knew I was going to like and just started watching those.
Uh huh.
But I don't know. There was like no TV. There was no Wi-Fi at the school that I was in. And then when we went to Hong Kong, it was worse. No, wait, was it? No, okay. I mistake the two regions. In Hong Kong, there was free Wi-Fi. In Macau, there wasn't any.
Oh.
In Macau, there wasn't any. Which even the phone, because it's a special district. For those who don't know, Macau and Hong Kong are special districts in China. So they can do whatever they want over there in China. Everything's restricted and nothing can go over the law, above
Uh
the
huh.
law. So in Macau, my Chinese service, like the one from mainland, did not work in Macau. So I literally had nothing, zero ways to communicate with everybody else if I happened to get lost. And then all the Wi Fi was completely blocked.
Uh huh.
Oh no, I was right. It was still in Macau, but it was in one of the casinos that actually had Wi-Fi. But we went to a hotel because my professor wanted to use the bathroom, and she had to pick a hotel when all the Wi-Fi was completely locked. And me and my friend, literally, we got lost, or at least we lost them,
Wait,
and
how?
we
Were you not just waiting for them in the lobby?
So the thing is, we didn't need to use the bathroom, but we were in awe and like looking at everything that was in, because it was like this old. This was like a English inspired hotel. Like
Uh
literally,
huh.
the Nutcracker in like the uniform that they wear. I don't know what it's called. There literally was like two guys with that same uniform outside of the hotel,
Uh huh.
and they were both white for some reason. I don't know how, but they were both white. And I was like, okay, did they literally hire two white British men to do just to stand outside?
I guess they get paid
Okay,
the big bucks.
I guess so. We walked in; it was really nice. It was like an old, like again, inspired English inspired, like old, like one of the royal hotels,
Uh
and
huh.
like literally I didn't even notice where they went to. Me and my friend, we literally turned our heads for like 2 seconds. Literally, it was just 2 seconds. 2 seconds later, they were gone,
Uh huh.
and we were just stuck in the lobby, and we didn't know where they went. And usually,
Uh.
when you use the bathroom, it only takes like what, max 10 minutes if you actually have to take a crap, right? They
Right.
were gone for half an hour.
They got lost too.
No. Guess what? They went to the casino upstairs and left me and my friend by ourselves.
They just went to gamble.
They went to gamble. I was no, this is the first time when I had a real hard panic attack. Like, I've had panic attacks before, but
Uh huh.
this one was like, now it was very visible and I was literally freaking out. Like, because I don't have connection, don't even have Wi-Fi. My friend couldn't get connection through either because she had her connection from the United States available in China, but it wasn't really working in Macau. So it was like very, very laggy. Like none of the messages was going through. So we both literally were there with no method to contact anybody.
Uh
So
huh.
I was having a panic attack. And 10 minutes went by. I started feeling, and I was like, just relax, breathe. 15 minutes went by. Okay, they're not coming back. 20 minutes go by. Oh my gosh, they're really not coming back. And my friend is like, don't worry, just relax. And she started noticing I was having a panic attack. The second it hit 25 minutes, I couldn't breathe at that moment. I literally could not breathe. And she literally stopped. She had to stop being on her phone and actually start trying to get me to calm down. Once they came back at the 30-minute, a little bit past the 30-minute mark, I saw them laughing, joking around, coming down the escalator, and they were and my friend was like, "Where were you guys?" Means you're like, "Oh, we went to the casino upstairs." My other classmates noticed I was having a panic attack. They asked me if I was okay. I couldn't breathe and I couldn't speak, but my professor thought it was me just being exaggerating. The second we walked outside, I started crying because that's when the panic attack basically the sign of relief came in.
Uh-huh.
My panic attack kind of went away. Well, slowly started to go away. I still couldn't really breathe that much. And my professor decided to take me to the side and be like, "You're weak minded. Like, how
What?
can you think um, I would leave you guys here?
Cuz you did?
Because you literally did. And there was no way for us to communicate. And I'm a foreigner. I'm Mexican. I'm a minority. Like, what the hell? I don't know. Like, China, like, I'm in Macau in a place that I don't freaking know. I don't know where anything is. I don't know where I am. I'm in this weird British hotel inspired. Like, yes, I know there's a lot of people here, but they don't care about me. I am nobody to them.
Uh-huh.
You guys literally decided to go and gamble. Not if you did realize you didn't care that you lost two people. And if you didn't realize, then that's a bad thing on your part too.
Right.
So my friend got mad at my professor too, because she literally said that in my face and she heard her.
Uh-huh.
And we were like, wow. And from then, like, my panic attack started to go away. Then it went from me crying to now I'm angry because you literally just insulted me. It was
And this was
the
the professor you liked?
this was the professor I liked, and by the way, guys, this professor was actually my high school Mandarin teacher for 2 years. Well, a year and a half before she left. Then she became my Mandarin professor for 2.5 years in college. Yeah, and it was the same professor. I was really heartbroken at the end of the trip because, I thought, she had always confided in me to kind of speak to her more like a colleague level instead of me being her student. And
Uh-huh.
then she treated me even less than a student when we had that trip. So, I mean, I don't hope for anything bad for her. I actually hope all the best for her. But I don't think she is ready or capable to do another study abroad, especially if she's going to treat students differently.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna lie, it was three white kids, me, and my Chinese friend. She decided to treat the white kids like royalty, while me and my Chinese friend, like, we basically felt like actual minorities in the group, even though my professor was Chinese herself. And it kind of hurt because, again, me and her, we had like this bond because of we I was her student in high school, and then we reunite back in college. Like, that is so big. Woo.
Uh-huh.
I was able to understand her because I understood, like, her struggles as a teacher because I was studying to become a teacher. She always, again, confided in me and to express her how she felt about the students, and I never shared any of this with anybody else. But now after that, I was just like, well, that kind of hurts because I've defended you the whole time. Like, I even defended her in high school when my other classmates, who I actually was friends with, tried to throw her under a bus for a grade change when in reality she didn't do that grade change. They did.
Right.
I was the only one who spoke up against the
Yeah.
whole class, defended her, and then I got treated that way. And you know what? Forgive and try to move on, basically. Again, I don't wish her anything bad. I actually wish her all the best. I hope she is doing well. I just don't think she's ready, or has an open mindset to take another group of students to study abroad again in China, with herself, because it was her first one. And I get it, maybe um she didn't want to get sued at the end if something happened, but, like, she wasn't ready for it, and it
Yeah.
showed. But yeah, I did love my experience. The couple of times that I was able to actually go and explore China and explore Hong Kong and explore Macau on our own, because it was usually just me and my friend, um, that we kind of went out and did stuff on our own, which was basically maybe like 3 days out of the 3 weeks, right? Um, except like the times where we all went as a group, but then we were like, okay, we're meeting at this spot in like 3 hours, right?
Uh-huh.
But like by ourselves, literally, we went through the experience of getting scammed in a taxi.
Oh
We
no.
I
I did
know.
that too. And
That it wasn't bad.
that happened to me in Poland, which is funny. But you know why that happened?
Why?
Because I guess I was split from the rest of the group, and
Oh.
someone, I guess, I just another person that was there with me. He, I guess didn't really get along with the group. I guess in general, kind of like a weird guy, but I stuck with him because I noticed that he was kind of like, he didn't really know his way around, so he was kind of looking to me for direction and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was planning on walking the whole way back to our hotel, which
Uh-huh.
was probably like 5-ish miles or so.
Yeah.
But I guess it was getting late and he didn't feel safe, so he said we should take a taxi. And we
Oh.
took a taxi, and it cost like 10 times as much as it should have.
Ouch. See that? I mean, I don't know, because like, just for the reference, $1 in renminbi is but back then it was 6.38 yuan. Um, and
Uh, what's RMB?
renminbi is like the Chinese currency.
So you're comparing two Chinese currencies?
Well, that basically renminbi is the name of it, but yuan is like the dollar sign, basically.
Uh,
It's a weird
what's
thing.
the conversion from dollars to UN?
6.38 back
Okay.
then. So that taxi ride, because we ended up splitting it. It was like 200 and I want to say 220 yuan.
Uh-huh.
Um, which ended up roughly coming out to how much is that? Math.
It's like 30 bucks, 30 something bucks,
Yeah,
right?
something like that, which I ended up paying 15, she ended up paying 15, let's say, for example, which were part of my where my money went to, was that scam a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Um and that was how we got scammed. It's not too bad if you think about it, but the second taxi that we took back home, we only got charged, I think it was 48 yuan.
Oh,
Exactly. Right? So that's like how much in dollars? Like not even
$7.
$7.
Yeah.
Um, so that we got charged double. Like again, it's not so bad, but we got scammed. And
Well, you got charged 4 times the amount.
I guess, but in dollars, it's like fifth. Well,
Well,
yeah.
it was
Actually,
7
no.
versus
We
30.
remember. Yeah. Because we have to then split that between two people. Yes.
Right.
So yeah, it was like four times the amount. But yeah. So we learned from that. So we took the experience of getting scammed in taxi, getting scammed, and then actually knowing the rate of how much it was in a taxi. We even learned how to take the bus on our own before our professor uh showed us how to even ride the bus line, or I think it was the other way around. I don't know, but we learned how to manage on a bus. We learned how to return something in China in Mandarin. Well, I did the returning, because it was something that I had bought for everybody, but then they ended up being not appreciative of it, because the thing was we were all supposed to split the cost, and they didn't want to at the end, so I ended up returning everything, and I was so mad.
Uh-huh.
So we had to return something. We managed to cross the border from mainland China to Macau on our own and with no problems. So like we did more experiencing on our own than basically um, in the group. But the ones who got praised for experiencing, quote unquote experiencing, was the white students. Um, all they did was go to the night market and order the same thing every night. So of course they're gonna know how to say the same thing over and over again, because they're literally ordering the exact same thing over and over again.
Yeah. As a white person, I identify with that. That I would order the same thing in Japan when I was there. Just go to the same places, get the same stuff.
Mm-mm. For us, we went to a Japanese restaurant in mainland China. We went to a McDonald's. We ended up buying street food. Like we did a bunch of things again on our own. Um, We went to a Walmart. We went to different malls. Um, like we literally spent a lot of money on. I actually, this is the thing. I didn't even spend money on for myself. I spent more money in trying to find souvenirs for my students, for my coworkers, for my parents, for my friends, and I did buying my own myself stuff. The only thing I got for myself was like,
Oh yeah, you were working at that time during college
yeah,
too.
yeah, I was working also, so I had to take a break from work to do my study abroad program.
Uh-huh.
So I had bought only 4 plushies for myself, and the rest of my money went to like the travel expenses, food, water, Starbucks, and yeah, like Starbucks was literally separate. For like
Uh-huh.
extra expenses, it was separate. But souvenirs and everything, I spent more on getting people things than getting myself something. Um,
I'm trying to remember what I spent most of my money on in Japan because I went through it quick.
See,
Uh,
you think you have enough, and it's never enough.
I think I spent a couple $1,000s.
How? I only went to China with like I think about 700, $800.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely spent a lot at the arcades. I think it's like $5 for like 4 tokens or something.
Oh, oh, ew.
I don't exactly remember, but it was something like that. And I definitely did way too many claw machines despite being so bad at them.
Love claw machines.
I hate them.
Oh my gosh.
They just tease you. They show you, oh, you almost have it. Nope, nowhere
Nope.
close. But they
um,
were. I definitely loved the music games there, though, the rhythm games.
I can only do those on the PSP, but yeah, you got that.
Yeah, the cube one was my favorite.
hmm
Like
I
it's like 16 different squares you have to press the buttons.
what's it
And
called?
I don't remember what it was called, but I thought they had it at the Anime NYC
Oh, they
last year.
did.
Yeah.
But how much money did you end up bringing? Because like I said, I think I brought like maybe 800, no, $700.
Uh, I think I brought like a couple hundred, and then I just kept withdrawing it as I needed more because I didn't want to hold like a lot of money on me.
But like in total, like then how much did you end up spending?
That's the thing. I don't know.
Oh,
I
oh,
don't.
Mr. Rich Boy over here in the house.
I I don't know how I just had money. I guess I just never spent in my first college, and then when I went to the second one, I spent a lot of money and had no money left.
Oh gosh.
I
For
guess there was a
me,
reason why I started spending money. I don't know.
probably. For me, I ended up only having not even 200 yuan on me when we went to Macau.
Uh
And the
huh.
thing is,
Is that enough for water?
oh, it wasn't even enough for like a meal. Okay, because this is what happened. So in Hong Kong and Macau, the exchange rate is higher. So you get less per dollar. So in China, it was
Because they know the rich people
6.3.
are there.
Exactly, because in Macau it's just full casinos, and Hong Kong is just full on malls and like the exciting stuff. Yeah. So the rates I think in Macau was like about
Ugh.
4 point something, and Hong Kong was like 5 point something, something like that. I got more from mainland China than I did for the other two, so that's also where I spent most of my money as well. I was like literally at like my lowest when I went to Hong Kong. That's why I was really sad when I went there. The only thing I was able to get was a 65 uh what is the currency in Hong Kong, but Hong Kong dollars basically on a meal, which was literally just curry and rice basically,
Uh huh.
and enough to get myself a bubble tea, which was I think 30 something Hong Kong dollars. Like it sounds doesn't sound that bad, but when you exchange it to how much like dollars and how much I had left, that was pretty expensive for me. I
Uh huh.
literally I only had maybe like 20 or 30 Hong Kong dollars left, which in if you exchange into yuan was like 40. So I had to call my dad and I gave him my debit card information from China. Like, Dad, can you please send me more money? Because I literally have 3 to 4 days left here, and I'm broke.
Uh-huh.
So he had to send money from the United States to China, and I had to like literally spend a whole day with nothing. I couldn't spend anything. I literally was holding on to like the 40 yuan I had left, because it wasn't going to come until the next day.
Right.
And then when the next game came, I was only able to withdraw like $200 because my dad had sent me 270. So I was only able to withdraw 200 and then exchange that. Um, but I couldn't stay, like, because they wanted me to stay longer to get the manager to come and authorize the other $70. And I was like, I can't stay. We gotta go. So we just left. Um, and then we ended up going to another place where then of course my $200 basically ended up being what another uh I ended up having a little bit of money left after that, because afterwards it was like 2 days I had expenses in the airport um to buy and whatever, and then I got home and I was like, how did I end up spending almost $900
Yikes.
for, and literally I didn't even really buy anything for myself. It was literally just expenses.
Uh-huh.
And also I like we had, I guess you can say we technically had free quote unquote food, because it was the cafeteria at the school. But after a week of eating literally it was the exact same food every single day, my body refused to eat anything else.
Was it just noodles?
It was literally noodles, egg, the fried donut, um, another like flaky bread pastry thingy, and like mushrooms and stuff like that. Like literally like traditional like Chinese food. Um,
Just full of carbs?
Basically just full of carbs. And I had to start buying outside food to even get myself to eat. Because like literally the second I saw the food at the cafeteria, like the hunger went away. Like I did not want to eat it. Like my body literally refused to eat any more of it. Um, and that was a struggle in China as well. Like you would think that, oh, you love Chinese food, you can eat Chinese food every single day and it's not bad. Literally, I went there, I thought I had that mentality, and now I'm like, I can't do this. I need a McDonald's, I need a fried chicken, I need literally I and my professor took us to
Well,
like
because
all of these.
they don't use as much oil and sugar as they do in the United States, right?
Oh no, yeah, they don't. They don't. Exactly. So like and the portion size for food they're a bit bigger if you're talking about traditional. But if you're talking about fast food places like Starbucks and all that stuff, the portion sizes are smaller.
Uh-huh.
Um so yeah, it is very different. But my professor also took us to all of, like a lot of these banquets and stuff like that, which then I was like, okay, this is a little bit better. It's different, but I
But
still need
it's still
something else.
Chinese food.
It's still Chinese food.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't until we had our last banquet with the principal and his wife and like the chef, because we were giving them thanks for everything they've done. Because like even the chef took the position of cooking us food. Because then after me, a couple of more students, like the other white kids, they couldn't take in that food anymore.
Uh-huh.
So instead of paying the school, like for food, like from the cafeteria, we ended up starting to pay the chef when we wanted to like have something different.
So he made
And
you personal meals?
yeah, he basically made us personal and more authentic meals. Like, because like even though the cafeteria food was high quality, but to them it was very low quality. So the chef started making us this like higher quality meals.
Like swordfish?
Like I guess we had uh the white rice was even more fresher. The vegetables were like steamed, they were way more fragrant. It was a lot different. So like it was like a sign of relief, but again it was still Chinese food, so I was able to eat a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
but still not as much. So I did, at the end of the 3 weeks, I ended up losing like maybe 10 pounds or something like that. Because again, I could just didn't eat. Um, and my professor refused to like step us like have a step aside really quick to like get a bubble tea or something, because like what I was craving was something different, like a different palette. Um, and every time I would like be like, "Can we stop by here to get something?" She would be like, "No, we got to keep moving." I understand we are limited on time and stuff, but like you literally see me not eating or something, and when I'm wanting to get something different outside, you're telling me no. It's like, well, stomach, you're just gonna have to starve for another 5 hours until we get more
I
Chinese
guess
food,
she
right?
was just acting as the disciplinary parent for you. Like,
I
no, no,
guess.
you can't get candy. You haven't eaten your Chinese dinner for the 15th time in a row.
Oh my gosh, no, I guess, but like the last banquet, which is what I was trying to say, but the last banquet, the one of the soups has cilantro in it.
Uh huh.
I started picking at the cilantro from the soup. I started like just grabbing all the cilantro, and I was just eating that at that point because the cilantro reminded me of my mom's Mexican food. And that was the most depressing thing I've ever
Did
felt.
Did you start eating the trees?
No, no, I didn't. No, like that. It was. I know you would think that I would, but like that's how much my body was literally trying, reaching out for a different flavor.
Uh huh.
The cilantro just reminded me of salsa verde. It reminded me of tacos. It reminded me any little like food from Mexican cuisine.
Uh
I
huh.
literally was my friend started laughing at me because she's like, "Yo, I know how you're feeling, but this is technically kind of pathetic." And I'm like, "Listen,
Sad.
you cannot judge me." Like when we went to the Hong Kong restaurant where I ended up spending like 65 Hong Kong dollars on a meal on curry,
Uh huh.
I was able to eat most of it. And it was a big plate too. But that again, it was like Malaysian, or I think it was Malaysian or Indian. I don't remember, but it was like no, it was Malaysian. It was Malaysian curry. It was different.
Uh huh.
It was different. I needed different. I think if I automatically got something different from the beginning, I would be able to go back to eating Chinese food, and I wouldn't have spent so much money on literally trying to find something different.
Right.
But because I was technically deprived of that opportunity, I had to keep spending more on other things to literally, even though it was still all Chinese food, but like for whatever I was able to get access to like kind of get myself to eat. Literally, it got so bad that the only thing my body wasn't rejecting was either water, aloe drinks, sometimes soda, or these icy pop things that China sold. It was like a pineapple flavored icy
Uh huh.
that the convenience store where we were located at sold.
Yeah.
I
Um.
literally ate 3 of those a day because that was the only thing my body was like, this is different.
Right. I mean, if the food's decent, I just keep eating the same thing. An example of that is in Japan. I would go to the 7-Eleven like basically every day and just buy protein bars and just eat those.
Really, protein bars were like your
I
savior.
They're not really a protein bar. They're called Calorie Mate, which is I guess just a dense thing of
Mm-hmm.
stuff, chemicals and all that, and
Chemicals.
I just ate that all the time.
Oh my gosh. You know, it was one thing that I honestly started eating at the beginning, at the very, very beginning, after like what, 4 or 5 days into the first week. They had the convenience store had like this ramen that was like their interpretation of Japanese ramen, and it was like it wasn't cup noodle. No, no, no. It wasn't maroon chan. No, no, no. It wasn't even top ramen. This packet of ramen had literally pieces of pork in it,
Uh huh.
like literally square pieces of pork, not like tiny pieces, but it was like two slices that you put the hot water, keep it on there for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, I think it was, and now you have an actual legit ramen. Not legit, not like, yeah, this is the most beautiful piece of ramen I've ever had. Like, no, this was like, who is cup noodles? Who are they? Who is she? Right? Um, so I was like happy
Uh huh.
for like the first 2 days of me eating that, 3 days. And then I couldn't eat anymore because it was literally just cup ramen.
I don't think I had ramen that much in Japan.
Why? Why? How dare you?
I don't know.
You
I had
go
it
to
a few
Japan and you don't have the
times.
food?
I I had like the curry and the egg dishes or whatever. I just
Oh my
really
god.
didn't get ramen that often.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know.
Very
I
interesting.
I guess it's I guess they were more watery than they are like here, where it's like super salty and everything. Everything's in here.
Oh,
I don't know. It seems like they focus more on like the noodles rather than the broth.
interesting.
Because I think it's popular in Japan to like scoop up some noodles, dip it in the soup, and then eat the noodles, and then like continue doing that, and then just like dump the soup at the end.
Huh. I mean, I can't wait to go to Japan and just try all the ramen there.
Uh huh.
Like, I will gain 20 pounds by the time I come back, but it will all be worth it.
Yeah, I didn't even try like the super famous waffle thing, where there was like a line around like 4 blocks.
You mean like the waffle ice cream thingy
I
thingy?
believe so. I never bothered getting in the line, so I didn't find out what it was. But
Oh no.
it was just a huge line.
Interesting. Oh my gosh, there's so many food things that I want to try if I ever go to Japan, and I really hope I do. I'm gonna need to like
Yeah, I did not have enough sushi. I definitely liked the sushi and tried to get it as often as I could, but I just did not
and it's cheap,
have it
isn't
as
it?
much. Yeah, if you find a good place, it's like $1 per plate, unless you get like the premium ones, which are like $2 or $3. But
That's still not bad.
yeah, that's a good price.
Here it's like $12 for 9 pieces.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, that's okay. Fine.
And you customize your order every time. Like you ask the chef, like, can you put more wasabi on it, or like, can I get this fish instead? It's like you can
Hmm.
ask them to do like a certain order if you haven't seen it like go on the conveyor belt in a while,
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it comes with free green tea. So
Oh yeah, to cleanse the palate.
yeah, they give you a bunch of powder in a I guess little container, and then you pour hot water from the table.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
least
yeah.
in that
I've
place
seen
I went
that.
to.
I've seen that. I've actually seen a Mexican YouTuber, Luisillo Comunica. He actually has gone to Japan several times, and I've seen actually him do that,
Uh
where
huh.
he goes to a sushi conveyor belt and like he's like explaining that here's a little container with like green tea powder. You just put it in your cup, and here's
Right.
like the faucet or whatever, the little water thingy where
Yeah,
you pour the water.
that's like the typical way of getting green tea in a restaurant.
Yeah, and he was also like how the chefs are really nice and they usually would recommend you to try different things, especially if they see you're a foreigner.
Yeah.
See, I want to go so bad, but I will wait until the pandemic, the cough ends up going away, or at least is almost cleared, and when
Right.
Japan ends up accepting us back.
Yeah. And then you'll finally actually have raw food, and you won't be scared of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the thing. One quick thing before I end up my story. In that last banquet that we had, they actually brought out sashimi,
Uh huh.
and I actually had a bite because I was like, well, as long as it's not from the United States, I'm good.
Uh huh.
And I had it. I was scared, and it wasn't that bad. I actually kind of liked it. It was salmon.
Yeah, salmon's a good starter, so it's a good thing you got salmon rather than something weird.
Yeah, it was funny because like when we went, because
Because
we
tuna
had
is something you have to get used to, especially like the dark tuna, red tuna.
all like the non-fatty one.
I think that's the fatty one.
Oh, the red tuna's the fatty one.
I thought so.
Ugh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not a sushi expert. I don't know.
Or was it the yellow tail? I don't know. Either way,
I want to try the eel because it looks cool,
I don't
but
think
I
I've
don't know.
had eel.
Hmm.
At least not raw.
Well, it usually comes with like a sauce. Like from
Hmm.
what I've seen it mostly comes with a sauce. But yeah, I want to try different sushis in Japan because like I don't trust raw eggs here and I don't trust raw fish here in America.
Right.
I trust in Asia. So that's the only reason why I even went forward to like trying salmon raw for the first time. It wasn't bad. I liked it. I would try it again.
Uh huh.
So yeah. But hopefully everything goes back to quote unquote normal, where like again we can go back and just start traveling. I'm gonna try to start saving up money. Hopefully, save a lot of money because I know if I spent a lot of money in just souvenirs and expenses. Oh, imagine if I go to Japan, then I'm gonna have to save on like triple the amount, quadruple
Basically.
the amount because Japan is life. But
And also more expensive than China.
and way more expensive than China. It's basically like here, isn't it? In like some stuff.
Uh, for food, it's actually cheaper than New
Hmm.
York, but everything else, it's like slightly more expensive. So it like evens out if you eat a lot of food.
The only thing I'll be excited about is the cheaper versions of like not the cheaper versions, but like cheaper statues because
Well,
I don't have
only
to pay for the
because import.
import. Yeah, I won't have to pay for the import.
Except, technically, you have to declare your goods and purchases when you uh, go back to the United States, right? And then I don't know if they
Mm,
charge you for anything like that.
well, when I came back from China, I got 100, I think 150 yuan back.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think it was like from taxes and stuff or whatever it was. I don't remember. I just know that like we had to go to this certain area and like give back a certain ticket that we got at the beginning of our trip and we got money.
Huh.
And I'm like, cool. Bye.
I get. I really don't know how customs works.
I don't know. The only thing that like from what I remember like from Mexico, the only thing we had to declare if there was like any wet food, like meat, fish, anything that like isn't dried.
Uh huh.
And we have ended up bringing back. That was the only thing we had to declare. Anything else? No.
Okay.
But again, I don't remember declaring anything like that in China, so I don't think we have to, or you have to do it in Japan
Okay.
unless you
But
did that.
okay. So the thing is, if you're gonna be buying a lot of things, you're gonna need an extra suitcase,
Oh
which
yeah, I'm gonna
might
bring
cost
like
you more
four.
at the airline.
Oh yeah, now that's fine. I'll bring four,
Four.
four, because
Okay.
I know that. Well, I'll bring two from home and probably buy two other suitcase, depending on like how much I end up buying.
Uh huh.
In Japan, I'll probably end up doing that because I know my suitcase for what I brought uh to China was not enough. Literally, I had to hold two pillow plushies in my hands, plus the neck pillow I had bought, and plus the textbooks that we ended up having literally in my hand.
Uh
And
huh.
I had already bought a what do you call it, a what was the small luggage, the
What do you mean?
one that you put over the chair, your seat in the airplane,
The
that
carry
luggage,
on?
the carry on. There we go.
Oh,
I have bought a
I thought
carry
you were.
on.
Okay.
I bought a separate carry on because I knew my suitcase wasn't big enough, and it technically wasn't because I still had to hold a bunch of things in my hand. The
Uh huh.
security guards and a book bag. I had a book bag too. The security at the airplane was like, "What the fudge?" All right, whatever. I can see that it's literally just plushies that you are having in your bag.
Uh huh.
Um, but again, it was literally souvenirs and plushies for myself. Which, by the way, I got basically two fake line friend plushies, a pillow and an actual plush, and I got a whale and a very bootleg Pusheen cat with
Uh
three
huh.
feet and a messed up ear, which I
3?
love very much. Yeah, it has three. I don't know. They forgot a leg. They
Uh
forgot
huh.
a foot. They forgot a paw. I don't know, but I still love it so much because it's black and it's cute. It has a messed up ear. It has three paws, so it's so cute to me. Um, but yeah, that's literally and like another maybe. Okay, so I bought five things for myself. Another pillow as well. So yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and another thing. Okay, that reminds me. Yeah, one last thing, and another thing that kind of broke my bank a little bit was in Hong Kong. You know how Starbucks have like the teddy bears that they kind of do seasonally.
Barista bears.
The bears. They had one for the Chinese New Year.
Uh-huh.
They had one for and it's like the Starbucks bear with a lion. Like you know how the in festivals you see the lion dance.
Right.
It's literally in the lion dance costume. That bear alone cost me 230 Hong Kong dollars.
What?
Yeah. I think that was about
60,
forty,
$70?
$60, I guess.
Huh.
But I love it so much and I will name it as a limited edition. I still have the tag and everything on it because it is from Hong Kong. And you cannot tell me it's American because that is Hong Kong straight from the special district.
Uh-huh.
Overseas.
I mean, I own a lot of things that were from China, so take that.
No, no, that doesn't count. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. So, wow, we actually spent 2 hours and 30 minutes talking. Woohoo!
Yeah, this was supposed to be an hour.
I know, but oh well, so it was a good chat. It was a good chat, and I really hope everyone who is listening to this actually have funny opinions and have experiences that they can share in the YouTube comments. But yeah, anything else you would like to say before we
Uh,
head out?
you can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, was it Radio Public, Breaker, and there was one more. Spotify, Pocket Cast. I said Pocket Cast, didn't
I
I?
don't
Okay.
know.
Well,
Yeah, we're on a lot.
you can find us in a lot of places. I think YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts are the big ones. So leave a rating, leave a
If
like, leave a comment. You can subscribe if you want. We make podcasts basically every week if we can.
yeah, if
So
anything, everything is in the description below.
yes, I have an extensive description for all of you to look at and be bored of. So just take a
Oh,
look if you want to be bored.
yeah. Also, wear your masks. We should learn a little bit. And if you are, thank you. Thank you for wearing
Yeah,
the mask.
just plug up your nose and mouth and eyes and ears and just like mummify yourself
Wow.
and we'll be good.
Wow. Don't teach them the wrong ways of fighting COVID.
If everyone mummifies themselves, we will be good in about a week.
True. But don't do it.
Okay.
Just wear your mask and stay 6 feet apart. That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
And get your vaccine if you have not yet, if you are eligible for it. But in that note, we will see you guys next week with another Otaku Tea episode. And I hope you guys have a great week. Bye, guys.
Bye.